Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever. Hello, hello. Okay. Pull that out. So I have my smocking example that we did last week. That is finished enough. Mary Polar Vortex. I am in one of the few places in this entire country that doesn't have it. I've gotten plenty of polar vortex stuff already, but like, ma'am, you literally came all the way upstairs just to complain to me. Why? What did I do? I'm tired. Jeez. Yep. Yeah, so we've gotten more than enough snow already this year, but Bailey has decided to be a pest. If I give you a couple pieces of pumpkin, will that be enough? Here, go crunch on some pumpkin. Alright. I've got pattern that I need to make adjustments to, and I need a sleeve pattern, which I will just grab whatever I can put over here at this point. Whee! I've made so many patterns in the last couple months, I have no idea what I've got anymore. I really need to reorganize all of that at some point in the future. Come on, one of you has to be a sleeve pattern. How come we have this many bodies and no sleeves? Oh, come on. Yeah, I think that's a sleeve. Yeah, I can see snow. I'm good. I don't need it at my house. I can see all of the snow on the mountains, and that's good enough for me. So, I need to keep drinking liquids. I am dehydrated, and my body is revolting me. Revolting against me is a better way of putting it. It's just being an absolute ass today. Woke up just feeling like death, and I was like, great. Between pressure changes and everything, sometimes my body's just, and I'm like, got doctor's appointment next week, doctor's appointment the week after that, so hopefully some things will get figured, but I don't think either of them are going to solve it, but at least rule some more stuff out. No, I have nothing else for you. Don't, nope, all gone, that's it. Okay, I want to do this. No, let me pull up this picture really fast, just comparison. I got nothing for you, I cannot help you. Nope, that was it, that's all there is in the entire world, it's all gone now. No, yep, all gone. Forever and ever. Nope, all gone. Alright, so it basically just kind of looks like it's a little bit below the neckline, nothing too crazy. Ma'am, no. Cannot help. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, obviously off today because holidays, but a lot of people are off today because weather too, so. Okay, so I've got my base, which is technically my 1920 base, but it doesn't really matter because it's just roughly this is what matters, and this is the same no matter what. So, oh, you have to go grocery shopping after work? Ooh, that was, I'm not gonna say it was a poor choice because it probably wasn't a choice, but oof, that'll be fun. The cat's so interested in the birds. Bailey, unfortunately, does not care about any of the birds. We have many, many birds. They only kind of care about Bailey at this point. They'll maybe jump up to the fence, some of them, when I let her out, and that's about it. And they just jump back down when she's gone. Like, they are not very afraid of her. Alright, where have my scissors gone to? Oh, there they are. Some paper cut off. Figure out what's going on here. Second. I don't need a lot, but I just need enough to give me like a rough idea of what shapes I'm cutting. So, things I wish that they could just have like, I need this paper like paper towels sometimes, you know, where it just choose how many sections you want to rip off at a time. Like, I know how much that would be a problem, but also at the same time. Make my life a lot easier. Oh. That's not solid. I can't rest that there. Okay. A couple more months, it'll get easier. Just need to use more of the paper. Okay. I don't think I even have a pencil up here. I think I've somehow done the thing where I'm down to one pencil in my entire house again, and I have no idea how. I need to buy more pencils. That's very frustrating. Okay. I need to buy more pencils. So let's start off up here. I just keep forgetting to buy more pencils. Oh. I like when he chirps at him. Okay. Perforated pattern paper, yeah. I really want it to rip when I want it to rip, which is the confusing part that's just not feasible. Alright, so we're using a pen for this because I don't have a pencil up here. It's downstairs, and I don't want to go get it. Yeah, I'm going to ignore you until you leave. Let's go lay down in your bed, ma'am. This pen is not the friendliest. Alright, so let's just sit. No. Oh my goodness. This dog. So needy. Stop being so needy, ma'am. Okay, so I'm guessing, I know that's about there. I'm guessing I want it about yay far out. I'll adjust where center is in a minute, but, and if that's probably about that far down. Oh, of course this pen's going to be an absolute. Okay. Are you just not going to work either? Well, you're not helping. I just feel like noting that. You are not being helpful at all. You could be so helpful. You could, like, go get things for me, or I don't know. I don't know how you could be more helpful. I'm sure there's a way. Oh, hey, I found a pencil. It's not a good one, but it's a pencil. Okay, cool. I probably should have. There we go. So, it'll end up being something akin to that in its final format. No! Stop! I cannot assist ye. What? I don't know. Right here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ugh. Jeez. There. I don't think that's what you want, but that's what you're getting. This is getting ripped off. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Is this what you really needed? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, my pants are a little bit slippery today, unfortunately, so good luck to you. Ow. Oh. Candle underneath, she's just doing this with her back paw on my leg, trying to get traction. I'm like, no. This is not gonna help either of us. Okay. Just want to mark out about where the center point would be. 11. Put this around here. So, reality is probably going to be more like centered up like that. I should probably just put the little muslin thing on and then figure it out. But, you know, that takes more effort than I want to do. Hi. Ow. Okay. There. Your feet are under you. If you don't do too many silly things, they'll stay there. I need like a pillow right here for her to. I'm not sure I could squeeze one in, but I bet you would fall asleep if I had a pillow. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Come here, boo. Oh, God. How are you heavy? How is your butt so heavy? It's impressive every time. Oh, God. Okay. Nope, don't kick the pillow off. Right, we're gonna put the pillow there. Put the pillow there. And there you go. You can just rest yourself on the pillow. There you go. Okay. Will that work? No, you can't go to the side of the pillow. You will... Child. I gave you this comfy little big arm thing. You need to rest on that, not try and rest on my knee, which is slippery. Come on. Freaking ice skating on my leg. That's enough. I can't help you. This is all I've got. This pillow right here. This is all I can offer you. Otherwise, you're going to have to be on the ground to go back to your bed. This is all I've got. You like pillows. Why am I arguing with my dog? Okay. I feel like I need to make a dog bed that sits on top of the arms on this chair. Like it's a semi-solid situation that she can just lay on this pillow. The dog bed she's actually got over here is way bigger than that. Hi. What? You want down now? What are we doing? You're not allowing me to get any work done right now. That's a problem. Oh, neat. I'll go take a look for that. Instagram doesn't really let me know when people message me that aren't on my, like, short list. So I'll go take a look. Cool. Yeah, like, I got this chair because it has arms, and I figured she could manage it, but she seems determined to do stuff like that. And she just wants her head up higher. My legs sit at about the same height that the arms do, and she wants her head up higher. So I was like, okay, well, what if I put a pillow to the side? And she's just putting her head to the side of the pillow, like, and then that means that it's not helping. Just see the... Okay, here, let me try one more thing. Just wait. There. Would that work? If I put the pillow flat down? Would you feel like a princess enough at that point? Oh my goodness. I wonder why my legs are asleep at the end of these days. Okay, so. Anyway. the way that this dress that I'm making will work is it does have to be, wow, my brain completely forgot the word for the type of sleeves that these are, where the sleeve comes up into the neckline. So anyway, point is, that's what we're doing right now. That's the goal. It's figuring out how best to do that while evening up front to back and making sure that the shoulders will be big enough. It is going to be smocked, so in reality, I will have a lot of adjustability with the actual gathering process to get it to the right raglan. Yes, to get it to the raglan sleeves. To get it to the right size, but the height and differential and shaping and things like that has to be taken care of. Because, you can't have the raglan sleeves where it's a really small thing and it's going to like pull too far up or be like all the way over here in the seam. So you got to have the seam come into this neckline in the right place. So I'm basically playing around with patterning it as if it's in a finished format and like fitted. So that's what I'm currently working on. And theoretically what I probably should do is just literally put like a mock-up I think I have this in basin muslin and I should just like put that on and literally draw it on the base. And now you're moving to the one place there is no pillow again. Are you not sensing a trend with this of difficulty? Or are you just accepting your fate? Okay. Every crochet piece you've ever made. That's awesome. I need to get back to knitting. I bought so much yarn recently, and I am not. For some reason, I do that, and then I just like cool, and then I just forget that I can actually knit. I'm almost done with one thing. I think what happened was I was so far along and almost done with one thing before I went on the trip in October. I took it with me, but I was so busy with so many things going on, I didn't get a chance to actually finish it. And it's kind of just sitting there being like, all right, I can't start another knitting project. I have to finish the one that I've got, but I kind of don't really care, and I don't think I've sized it right. I think it got to be too big, and so what I really need to do is take the pieces that I've already made and like see what I can do to get it to make sure that it's the right shape before I take a bunch of time and keep finishing it. And then realize I can't wear it and then have to start over again with something else. So it's one of those things where it's looking at me, I'm like, I should just start something else. I'm like, if I start something else, I'll never finish this. And if I never finish, I'm just like, ah. So I'm stuck in this catch-22 of unpleasantries, as it were. So I don't know at this point what I'm gonna do. We'll see. I'm guessing this is probably gonna come to about there. Like, that's a nice little continuance. I would get up and adjust the thing so it wasn't so bright, but I am not allowed to get up right now. She's starting to snore. So clearly we have discovered an acceptable position. My left leg is falling asleep and my dog is starting to snore. I don't mind doing shawls, blankets, scarves, things like that. I just don't enjoy them as much. Like, I'd much rather do a sweater. Like, if it's just repetitive, I get bored without some sort of, like, challenge to it, I guess. So, I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing. Let's get about there. So I'm thinking this is my front. And then it'll just be gathered in a bit. I wish my ears would stop doing this. I think I'm saying the endocrinologist this week and then ENT the next week, so hopefully, I don't know. Doctor said my ears weren't like full of stuff, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just I hate the ringing. It has become so much more prevalent in the last few weeks since the weather turned and pressure changes and all sorts of stuff, and I'm just so tired of the ringing in my ears at this point. I would like for it to stop. Please. Please for to stop. Yeah, and I don't mind. don't want to say I don't like the repetitiveness, because that's, like, not how it works. It's more just the fact that I don't like taking on something that I didn't have to think about to begin with. I like having to figure things out. If it's something I can just buy, also, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I need a reason to do it, because I have so many things I could be doing, so. But, yeah, I've taken apart so many projects over the years for so many reasons. Most of the time it's just, I don't want to say it's most of the time it's sizing issues. A lot of times it's like, only became a sizing issue because it took me so long to I don't know. There's a few pattern companies that I like their stuff lately, and I'm like, I think I just need to pick one of the yarn, or one of the combinations of yarns, because some of them are not a single color, and just do something that's a commercial modern pattern, even if it is historically inspired or whatever, that's fine. Just do that and get that feeling of having accomplished something, you know. I think that's what I need to be doing right now. Which is why I'm like, maybe I do just buy a modern pattern, like something that is already sized out and this and the other, and just not try and make it off of a vintage thing that I have to resize and everything. I think I need like an easy win that I feel like I've done a thing that's actually not nearly as grand as it is, but you know, I can pretend. I think that's where I'm at. So, oh, Bailey, why are you full of farts too? That's like the last thing I want to deal with right now. Okay. Ooh, leaf pattern, cool. Okay, I need to see what the difference is. So right now, this one is 11 3/4 versus 9 1/4. You are so stinky. Why? So we have 2.5. So I need to move this. What did I ever do to you to deserve this many farts? She's not usually like that. That's the worst. It's almost worse because of that. I'm like, what? I think it's a pumpkin. I need to stop being near that. Okay. You're gonna have to bear with me for 1 second. I squish you a little bit because I need to keep drinking liquids. I just realized at some point my teacup shut off and it's not. Oh, it is dead. You are dead. Okay. I'll just drink that before it gets cold then. Alright. So that gives me the shape that I need here for both of those. The neckline, that's what's going to be like drawn way out. So I'll figure that out on the fabric, but I needed this shape here so that way I can essentially cut that, because the whole thing needs to be gathered up together in order for this to work. So I need to know what the cutout needs to be. Is this about the same? Yes, it is. That's what I was going for. I was like, I want this distance in the front to be about the same as the distance in the back. That's what it is. I'll get to stay soon. That's on my to-do list very soon. I have maybe even 2 pairs this year. I might be doing the like, I don't know, proto stays of the 1600 era, because there's like that transition, and not everyone is wearing stays yet. But if you're making a like fancier, wealthy, fashionable, whatever outfit for around 1610, then it makes more sense to have the structurally separate bodies. But I really need to make myself a 1780s pair of stays again, because the ones I have are just, they're so many years back, do not fit me anymore, and I need to have ones that do fit, and I don't really feel like popping parts out and so Is this somehow acceptable to you? On top of me, on top of a pillow. You know, it'd be way easier if you just went over and lay down in your bed. Yeah. It would. I bet it'd feel better for you, too. I bet it'd be more comfortable. And my legs wouldn't be falling asleep. Okay. Hi. Okay. I know. Well, I'm just talking to my dog, so. Alright. Yeah, can I put you down? I'm just trying to encourage her to just go lay in her bed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, oh tinglies. Alright. So, I think that'll do for those. And then this chunk is what I need to then apply. So, no. You were like tired and sleepy and cute. Can you just go lay down instead of being a complete asshole about it? Just lay down right there. Just lay down in your... I made you a comfy bed out of very expensive fabric. It's full of love and meaning. It was literally hand woven. Go lay down in it. Go. Bailey is also 13. I'm sorry that you lost your friend so recently. It is no fun. But sometimes it feels worth it. I'm just being extra grumpy today. She's been like this in the mornings lately because she knows in the mornings I just don't have the patience and time because I'm usually doing work stuff and I'm busy and she takes advantage of the fact that I don't have the patience and will just kind of give in on things. So, that's what she's going with. Oh, I finally got my left ear to be happier. Nope, now it's back again. Dang it. Cutting everything out. The parts that are not going to stick around. Cut the rest of that off momentarily. Alright, I'm just going to try this thing where I'm going to down like half a glass of water really fast. That wasn't half, but supposedly there's some things that can help with. So then I'm going to go dunk my head in a bucket of ice water, and I'm not sure I feel like doing that today. That's not fun for anyone. It works, but I don't want to. And sometimes I'm like, oh no, maybe my ears are clogged, but then it like is here for like half a day and then it goes away, and I'm just like, oh, nope. Stupid body saying everything's wrong again when it's not. Sometimes hand stitching is easier than machine stitching, man. Namely, because you don't have to get yourself off the sofa. And it's way cheaper because you don't need a sewing machine. Like, I explain to people, like, there are so many reasons to hand stitch instead of machine stitch, and there are many reasons to machine stitch instead of hand stitch. But in reality, the main reason to machine stitch instead of hand stitch is just that it's faster, and that's like 99% of it. And then the rest of it comes down to like individual use cases or the person or whatever. Like if you've got, you know, arthritis or other problems with your hands, totally. But overall, like hand stitching is always superior, but it is slower. That's my opinion. Yeah, haha, yeah, I'm very everything feels like fuzzy in my right ear, especially today, which is not usual. It's more often my left one that's my problem. But the ringing has been ongoing for 2.5 years now, which was my first sign of like things getting worse. So, like, hey, okay. So, I just woke up with it awful this morning. I didn't need that. But I can tell, like, I have tension everywhere, and I just feel meh. So I'm like, the problem, it's just, I'm not, something's not happy. It is what it is. I can't fix that right now. So adding that over here. I'm gonna go to fold where I want you to. Yeah. Thankfully, I should be, I don't know, we'll see arthritis-wise what happens to me. I don't have a history of arthritis in hands in my family. Other places, like hips, are particularly so, but not hands. So we'll see what happens with all of that. There's no way to predict. But hopefully it won't be. Oh, my brain just stalled out there for a second. Hopefully it won't be as much of a problem. Yeah, like, as somebody who started off with mostly machine, but like a decent combination, that's why I don't use this pencil. I don't think I even have lead, like, the right size for this anymore. Not that lead's even the right word for that, but I don't think I have graphite the right size for this. That's probably why I don't. Yeah. Harder treat. Yep. Yeah, it gets worse in winter and with age. Yep. Yeah, for me, I can tell. It usually goes in the fuzziness in my ears. Goes very much in conjunction with pressure changes in my like how hydrated I am. That's why I will very often wake up with it. Da, da, da. But yeah, no, I live off a lot of miso soup too. But definitely, ramen is one of my standards in my life. One of my favorite things. So, at the very least, I've got that on like a regular list, but just like I could tell I was a little off yesterday, so I specifically ordered miso soup, but it just feels that with the weather changes, it's like there's so little that I can do to properly prevent most of the issues. It's very annoying. Alright, so theoretically this is the opposite of what I would want it to be, but hey, stop being itchy. Man. Should mark more points on these things. Whatever. Yeah, that's about makes sense. So, I know miso soup is not bone broth, but it has high sodium. That like it's the saltiness for me. That makes a bigger difference for me. Wood ear mushrooms. Ew, I do love wood ear mushrooms. That is an easy one. Yeah, I definitely use machine stitching for like internal seams when they're not gonna, like long seams, because back stitching by hand versus machine stitching, there is like not a difference. So yeah. Oh yeah, the machine stitches that they used to do were super itty bitty. Like we got really long for they start off small, then they got really long for like some things, and then yeah, back to tiny. I don't know. The I was always taught like bigger stitch sizes, I think, than most historical things use on machine. So I always have to fight myself to not overdo that. Okay, I'm thinking that's not where that is. Which, okay, I'm just gonna mark that there. Bring me to about here. Ow! Why? Once a nail breaks, there is no more hope. Okay, so let's scoot that way. I don't like how that's lining up. Okay, that's better. So let's pop you over there. Try that again. I think that's good. Better layout. There. I keep forgetting I don't actually have lead in this pencil. I don't break. That's the thing. Like I don't break nails very often. I have really strong nails, but every once in a while something will catch the corner and start to rip. And I was doing like hand work stuff before, and that's always the dangerous thing for it is just there's some things that will cause problems in that area. So it seems to be somewhere around here that's going to go. Over to this. There. There's some around here. Okay. It doesn't help that I definitely have some points in my nails that are weaker than others, and I just because of dietary things, whenever I go through a period for whatever reason of not eating as well, I can tell because I can see it in my nails. Hate it so much. And with travel, it is so hard to keep up with like having a good diet, and I can see that. Like I can literally see in my thumbnail especially like where the 2 trips that I took this year were. Like it is distinct. I can see a divot right there. I'm not sure I can do that with a pencil. This one's too dead. Yeah, I can see a divot right there and a divot right there. Like, yep, that's exactly my growing pace of those 2 trips. First one wasn't as bad because, you know, I was able to had more time, like. And so what's coming off the ends of my nails right now is the remnants of right before I was doing a couple trips and like stress and whatever. So there's a weak spot like right at the attached end, if that makes sense. And so I'm moving into a weak spot on the stuff that's extending. So it's going to be a little while before I can get that back up again. So yeah. Ooh, treadle machine. I need to get my treadle machine up and fixed before too much longer. Okay, I think that's. I don't like that shape. It's too far off from what I like. But I mean, it's not that it doesn't make sense. I just don't like it. Ooh, yes. Like, and I know the front and the back are technically slightly different angles of that, but not that far off. So I'm gonna scoot that further over. If I scoot it over maybe an inch. I was like, oh, I finally found a pencil. And the reason I don't use this one is it has the worst eraser known to man on it. But my other one literally has no eraser. I'm like, how have I ended up, as somebody who, like, relies on my pencils so much, how have I ended up with, like, I can't find any of them, and they're, like, the ones that I do have are in good shape. Like, what is happening and why? No, stop. It's getting very frustrating. Are you not going to work either, pen? Barely. Man, I am not having the best of luck with all of you guys today. Like, you are just causing me frustrations. Okay. That looks better. It's all a little weird, but whatever. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's all going to get gathered down so much anyway that there's only so much that I really have to worry about here. I just don't know exactly what angles I should be cutting, and I don't, or lengths or things, so we're guessing, because I can adjust so much in final format. Can only be so wrong. Treadle machine's quieter. I don't think so. It's been a long time since I've used mine. You're almost to not negative. Yeah, thankfully, like, the machine that I've got is in good condition because it's just been in a house or in a box in a house, like, not in a, like, attic or place like that for a while. Like, it's just been, you know, hanging out in good places for a while. So it's, like, not, it hasn't gone through much, we'll put it that way. It's been decently taken care of for a long time, but that does not mean that I mean, still, it needs a new leather strap. It needs a new, I'm sure it needs to be oiled and other stuff, but I just haven't had time to put that on my schedule. It's a little off kilter. So, it is what it is. It does not take priority. Oof. So much about, yeah. Like, I know I need to get the treadle machine fixed up. I know I need to get my record player fixed up too. But yeah. It's not that I don't want to do those things, it's just, it's so different than what I normally do that it's going to take, like, getting new tools or thinking about things in a new way. I'm just like, it's too much effort. Too much effort. I'm not sure this would be enough, but like I said, gathering. So essentially what's going to happen is I'll run all the gathering threads around everything, and then I'll be able to try it on before I actually start any of the smocking and make sure that it shapes correctly for all of those gathers. I feel like my sleeve's way bigger than it should be, so I'll work on that for a second. Because that's, like, this is fine, but, like, the length here seems not right at all because that does not match up in the least. On either side, it's way longer. Like, what did I do here? I think I might have adjusted something and added both ways. Let's find out. Let's find out where it wants to be. Because there won't be easing. Pencil doesn't work. Pen doesn't work. That's where that wants to be. And then you are there. that's really short. Like, that I can work with. That's just a tiny little amount of a difference between, like, that's less than an inch difference. Cool. All right, that's where the back should end. The front's so much shorter. Like, I think I need to adjust this down because I don't think there's any way that I can do that. It's just, embarrassing sewing machine for the year. Sorry. Oh, yeah, like the general maintenance of the things, it's just very, like, I feel like it's one of those things where they don't often get explained very well, even when you go to buy them in stores. Like, the place, when I got mine, it was very much, the discussion was just bring it in for maintenance every so many, like, months or whatever, and I'm like, but that doesn't actually help me understand things, because they just want you to bring it back in, because, you know, for money purposes, like, just keep bringing it back in. I'm like, I'd rather understand how to deal with it, but oh man, yeah, I'm pretty sure I learned on a 1970s Sears Kenmore. I don't remember honestly don't remember what the machine was I learned. Like, I can see a couple of, like, the two that I spent most of my time on when I was younger, but I don't know what they were. I don't like this at all. Why is that so much shorter? Like, I get that the neckline is further down, therefore... Should I don't want to lose, like, all of the... Because, like, this is where all the gathering's happening. This is not going to be affected. Should I bring this down? I feel like I should, and then... It's a sleeve. It's a raglan sleeve, as someone hopefully reminded me the name of. I'm just like, I feel like I'm doing something off and it's driving me nuts. I've just got too much of a... We're gonna try a couple things here. I'm just gonna fidget until something looks right. This is one of the reasons why people are like, teach me how to pattern. I'm like, I'm not sure I'm the person you should be learning from. You should be learning from someone who actually thinks themselves, like, through the problems and figures them out, versus me, where I'm like, go for it, it's fine. It can only be so messed up. I am way too renegade with it because I can visually just kind of see what would be a bad idea at this point, so I don't think through things nearly as much as I probably should, I guess is my best way of putting it. I do not plan and prepare and make logical... Like, I can kind of explain my decisions, but a lot of it's just, how much? I don't know, it just looks right. It's fine. It'll be fine. Alright. So that gets cut off at that end. And then you are just much shorter, but, like, now we're not as far off. Extra gets me around the corner to about there. Not ideal, but I can work with that in some format or another. I just need to extend that further out. It's like I know I was trying to match these up so that side seam would be about the same, but I might just add a little bit. When I go to cut it, it'll be fine. It can only be so wrong. That's kind of my motto for a lot of things in life. Yeah, I think I just need to add a little bit to that. Okay. Okay, that gives me an idea of what I'm doing. On the floor. Oh yeah, like do muslins, do fittings, all that sort of stuff. Just reached a point where I'm like, I don't have the patience always to show people like how to really figure it out. I'm just like, yeah. There are some times in videos where I will take the time to explain what's happening in my head and show you. The problem is so much of the time it's already done in my head. I've already figured it out in my head. And the time that it takes for me to like physically show people is just like, ugh, do I have to? I'm just like, man. So it's like that's what takes twice as long when it comes to making things for videos versus just making things for me. So for this, in general, I'm not taking the time to show like patterning purposes aside from, yeah, basically, so get a raglan sleeve pattern and figure out where you want your neckline to be and go from there. Like, that's what I will recommend to people. Don't make yourself a raglan sleeve pattern, just get one. They're out there. Or follow somebody else's instructions. I'm sure someone else has better instructions. Raglan sleeve patterns are not like a complex concept, so I'm not too worried. I'm curious just how different this is. Probably like I can't fold this in half, so it's not that far off. Like if you do that, that's just a difference there. So okay, so I guess technically I have to run it roughly like this. Because the width of these things is the width of these things, and the rest of it will be gathered up. So that's the slightly less negotiable part of this. Okay, make sure that I leave enough room for some seam allowance. Make sure that I leave enough room for what I'm doing up here. I don't know. I've got more than enough sleeve length for this, so I'm not worried about like I didn't cut what length I need because I'm going to be doing puffy sleeves, so I'm like, that just seems like math I don't want to do. So I don't want to do this. I hate working with colorful chalk, but I also don't like working with pen. I need to go get a pencil before I get too far into this. We'll put that in that way. Where else do I have? I have like 7 pencils. I swear they all just end up in Narnia before too long. Like, I have them for a month and then they end up in Narnia. And it's okay. It'll be okay. Yep. Not what I want, but not the worst thing ever. So, this would be the back. That, and that gives me plenty. I haven't decided how I want to deal with finishing off the neckline yet. I've got a few ideas, but I'm not satisfied by any of them. Since I don't want it like way up, I don't like even this is starting to kind of bother me to have something like this much up around my neck. So I don't want the ones that are like way up there. There's some that are a little more open, so that's what I'm going for. But how you decide to finish off the neck, there's like a few different options depending on how complicated you want to be. I get most of my muslin and other things like that from Mood, who's like honestly one of the cheapest options out there when you're buying other stuff at the same time. But that's the only place that I know of that has even remotely affordable sense of, it's like, how is muslin that expensive? It used to be like $1 a yard. Oh, that sounds like I'm talking about like gas prices back in the... I remember when muslin was $1 a yard. Those were the good old days. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Hey. This has a stain. Oh, okay, that just means it's cheaper. Okay, so that's there. I'm doing that. Wow, my brain is increasingly slow today. Fun. It's like, where is my sense? So I need to, just in case, I need to leave that extended out just in case this ends up being a fold over for ruffle or something. This stuff was super cheap. The stuff that I'm working with, this isn't a muslin, it's a rayon and wool, which was really inexpensive. I got it from some online place when they did a sale, and I was like, I'm not sure what I'll use this for, but whatever. And it's like, nope, that's the correct amount, and it works just fine for this. So, and I don't have to be like panicked about using expensive silks for this, even though like there'll be a lot of time and effort put into it, therefore it is of value. But I'd rather this be something I can also just wear and use and da-da-da. So that's the goal. Got that one over here and do the other. Let's see, what height did I do that one at? Because that's important. Got that marked there. So that way I'm at the same height, since I set it down by an arbitrary quantity. Oops. Alright, I'm actually going to add a little bit to this. How far down is that? That is 1 3/8. Yep. Alright, that should be good. Okay. It's kind of like a combination of Liberty gowns from, because they started making them in the late 80s. They really picked up like 87. Like they technically, I think, established the store in like 84, but they really picked up around 87. Not the store, but like the costume shop, as they call it, because I'm gonna do a whole video on this thing. But point is, they continued making things akin to this well into the 19-teens. They have other things that were made after that, but this is kind of a few different styles combined, because I wasn't just like, I want to do that exact one. I was like, well, I like the sleeves on this style, but I want it this way. I like the this neckline. I like da-da-da-da. Like, it's just one of those sorts of things where it's like, there's too many different things that I want, so I'm just going to combine them, because it doesn't seem inappropriate to do that. So because basically the whole thing is just them making like medieval costumes, like truly and honestly the vast majority of all of the smocked dresses, da da da. It's, they're somewhere between what we would consider artistic dress reform. They're connected with that. They are also connected to the like the Raphaelite, pre-Raphaelite, there we go, pre-Raphaelite stuff. And it's just all like, it's all mushy in there, and like at the center of pretty much everything. And I just kept coming across things that just kept bringing me back to Liberty and Co. in the center of things, where I just kept, and it was so funny because all the people that I had in my imagery for short hair, people that had like names and were famous actresses or well-known like people or things like that, I just kept coming back to the same exact names when I was looking this stuff up, and it's just so funny. I'm getting offers for a good lunch, so I'm just like, hey, if you want to go get me like good food, I will 100% not complain about this. Like, I'm okay with either. Oof. So I've got friends like in so many different places around the U.S. and oh, I forgot about that thing at noon today. And so it's just kind of this, like, I'm the only one who's not getting terrible weather right now, so we're just kind of enjoying the, like, everyone in the group being like, well, this is why it sucks for me, this is why it sucks. Because it's like, I've got Portland and Tennessee, Indiana, and Vermont, and it's like constant updates from everybody, what's happening. And I, like, know tons of people in Omaha and Virginia, and all these, I'm just like, it's just interesting to hear everybody's tales of woe at the moment, I guess. Like, yeah, I know what's going on pretty much everywhere, just because, like, I have a really spread out friends group. The more I think about it, like, yeah, I know, like, nobody here. I know, like, a couple people that live here, and not very well. That's it. Yeah, so. Why does this feel wider? It's not. I know it's not. Yeah, this is... a lot of people are not going to be home for the holidays. We're going to put it that way. It's coming just early enough that people weren't able to get to... Oh, wait, this is upside down. Wherever they needed to go ahead of time. I think people like planned accordingly to like fly on Thursday or Friday, and everybody's like, yeah, no, no. You waited too long, now you're trapped here forever. Bailey, go downstairs. Go bother other people. Go bother other things. Go bark at the window at all the people walking by. Hi. Are you just that needy? Okay. Hi, I love you. Oh, okay, then fine. Maybe I don't love you if you don't want to love me back. Ma'am, with your fussy sneezes. I know I need food, and I know you want food, but it is slightly too early for you, and I don't know where I put my food. I think it's in the hallway. Yeah, like, what you ideally want is snow, like, Christmas Eve into Christmas at most. Like, this is too early. Where did I put it, Bailey? Oh, I think it's downstairs now. I think I took it downstairs yesterday, now that I think about it. So no, I don't have anything up here for me, and you already had more than enough treats, and no more. No, go. Okay. At least it's quieter than barking. So, Yeah. Last year we ended up with a snowstorm Christmas Eve and Christmas. Like, it just kind of kept repeating. You know, with the friend trapped at our house for like 4 days. I was like, he was like, I just came out for staying overnight till Christmas, and just, nope, you're not allowed to leave. It's not safe, and it's not like he lived far away. Just okay. I mean, it can only be so wrong. I'll need to find a working pencil before I go too far on this, just because I will need to mark out all those dots, and I don't want to do so with a ink pen that's being fussy. Just throw that in my trash pile. Gentle scratching upon my chamber door. It may sound gentle to you, it does not sound gentle to me. Treats more. Yep. Feed me more. She basically nowadays has started harassing me once we reach like 11 because she's decided she is deserving of like early lunch. I'm like, no, you gotta wait just a little bit longer. Like, I won't make you wait until I eat lunch at noon because being fussy, but like, I'm not. If I give in every day when you ask for lunch, then it'll be breakfast, and then you'll be waking me up for it. We're not going down that route. That route is a dangerous one. I don't want to be woken up for food. She already just wakes me up because she's like, it's time to get up. I see a hint of sunlight, and I'm like, it's 6 a.m. The sun is not up. Just because a little bit of light enters the room does not mean it is time to get up. And so she's been waking me up at like 6:15 every morning, and the sun doesn't even rise until like 7:20. I'm like, no. Why? I just want to make it to 6:30. Like, just let there be a little bit more light. And for the time that I have set for all of my heat, like, to come back on in the house and stuff like that, like, warm up before I have to get out of bed. Just a little bit more. And that's the thing, like, half the time when I feed her food, she's like, oh, okay, and like eats half of it or eats none of it. I'm like, what are you just decided you need this? Because, like, she's not that starved, so she's not and there's not competition. And it's not like she doesn't like her food. It's literally the fancy frozen stuff that's like just ground meat plus vegetables and like whatever other nutrients need to be added because dog. But it's like, literally, you're eating better than a lot of humans do. Like, it is human grade food. It just needs some, like, spices on it, and I'm sure it'd make just a great pot pie. And, like, just... But nope. Not that exciting. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the dog. The troubles. So... Okay. I've got sleeve tops. Oh, man. Thankfully, this is, like, all I have to be doing. I am way ahead on video stuff because of the holidays and getting stuff approved by sponsors and things. Usually, you have it written into contracts, like, you have so many business days that they need to have it in order to get, like, oh, and okay, you just need to add this or change that, or, oh, that's not the right code, or whatever. Like, that's just normal things. And usually for me, that means that I turn it into my person on late, well, for me it's early afternoon on Wednesday, because it's late in the day for them, so that way they can email it off that day, so that way it can be there no matter what time that person gets into the office on Thursday. So they have 2 full working days to get responses to me. Cool. The problem of this comes in the fact that I'm like, I don't trust that someone's gonna be there Thursday and Friday next week between the holidays. I don't want to trust that there's any 2 days I can guarantee someone's gonna be in the office and fully functional and getting through stuff. So it's like, just a second. Okay. Things are figured out. Food is decided. Biscuits for lunch. Chicken and biscuits. Okay. So, the nice thing is about this is, like I said, I'm just worried about the angle, and whatever the spaces in between gets gathered up. We'll figure that out mathematically accordingly after I get everything together and decided upon. So, cool. Right. Do the fronts next, and then we'll do the back. How big does this end up being in comparison to? Oh, that's pretty good distance. I'm like, I didn't even check. How much do we have to gather in? So that will sit about there, and then we will have an extra, ooh, that's a lot, like 12 inches. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so basically we're going from 15 down to 3. Okay. I don't remember what my test was, but from 15 down to 3, I went from, with the test that I did, I think I ended up going from 8 down to 3. So we'll see. I think that'll end up being bigger gathers than I put on this. This one's fairly small, like shallow gathers. So I think and I didn't exactly like pull them in too tight. So, and I can always, one of the options, especially around necklines, very often you'll mount it in some format. So yeah, because this ended up being about 3 inches. If I had mounted it to something, it'd be about 3 inches. And I think I started off with this being 8 inches. Yeah, roughly 8 inches wide. So from 8 to 3 for that one, but so we'll have quite a bit more to smock down with this, but it's also very thin fabric and da 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 da. So let's do front. And this is the one where I have to give myself a little bit of extra. Because I want that to match up a little bit better. 80s does 1880s. I'm not sure. I feel like I must have had something smocked at some point in my life. Like, as a child, I grew up in the era that would have been a thing, so I can't imagine I didn't, but also, I don't remember, which I usually do, so, I don't know. Let's see this out just a little bit further, and make sure that I've got, I said 1 3/8 to the top, which is almost exactly, okay, cool. Okay. So, yeah, so much smocking. How does linen respond to smocking? I don't know. I would think it's mostly dependent on the size, like, the only reason I'd be a little wary of linen smocking is just if you're dealing with one that's got like a low thread count. I feel like that would be the bigger problem, is taking tiny stitches through what ends up only being a couple of threads each time is a bigger problem. So if you have a good fine linen, yes, I would see that not being an issue. Like, honestly, this fabric that I'm using, which is a wool and rayon blend, is weight and fineness of antique linen. To be honest, it's really similar, so I can totally see how it could work. But I can see how modern issues would stand in the way of that, depending on the situation. So, linen itself, not inherently a problem. The modern standards of linen, thread count, weight, whatever, more of an issue. I guess is a good way of putting that. So, ta-da. It's like, can you get some antique linen? Yes, but not the easiest to find anymore. Not as easy as it used to be, unfortunately. Historically, most of the smocked ones from Liberty & Co., it's a silk pongee, which is the stuff that is much more common out of Asia. So it's like, it's not that you can't find it, you just don't usually find it under that name in like the US at least. So the closest that I've found, like, China silk is as we call it, like, is sometimes a little bit silk to like crepe de chine, or China silk is a little bit too lightweight. Yeah, linen is woven on cotton. It's not just like woven; it's spun. It goes through the thread process. It's less a matter of woven, it's more a matter of the thread process, because the really long fibers that you can get if you like do linen, like flax scutching and stuff like that by hand, you can get multiple feet. You process them on machines that are like meant for linen, they'll probably come out more like fibers of, that length, but they get cut down to short fiber staple length, like 1 to 6 inches, because cotton doesn't go longer than that, so they get cut down to that in order to be processed. Yeah, linen look, they love the term linen look. It's like, no, it's just really uneven cotton or synthetic. Like, that doesn't make it look like linen. I don't know where they get that concept from, so. But yeah, the woven silk stuff. And so you can sometimes find similar weights and like textures of woven silk, as they very often call it over here, but you can still find silk pongee underneath that name. It's just, you gotta go on like Etsy and actually get it from Asia more often. So right, I'm gonna mark, it's gonna be folded over, I'm gonna mark front on that little F before I do some things and then forget where I'm at. So cool, so that'll get, see what's the size we're working down to here. So we're working down to, it's going to be about 4 inches. Well, it'll be 4 per side. So 4 inches, and we're dealing with, this is going to be a lot of stuff gathered in. I don't know why I thought this was not this one. I don't know. Dealing with about 21 inches down to 4 inches. This will be interesting. Okay. And I thought about making these panels narrower, but when I looked at all of the originals, a lot of them have very long, very full skirts, and in fact are 3 panels, not this width of panel. Usually they're a much narrower panel. It looks like they're probably somewhere more like 40 inches at most range, but they do 3 of them, and so I'm like, I've got 2 essentially 50 something inch wide. These are 54. 2 54-inch wide panels, which is an appropriate quantity for a longer length skirt. It's just a lot to gather down. So, this will be fun. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Like, I always recommend rayon as like the in-between, because you can get rayons pretty cheaply because it's a man-made fiber in a way, but it is still like cotton or linen, it's cellulose. So in terms of its functionality as a fiber, it acts like cotton. It just, has some downsides like wrinklage and whatever, but it is much less expensive, so yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and trim this off. It's going to be all the math that I have to do after this part to figure out what size of stitches I should make, because I can only have I can gather as much as I want down. The issue becomes I can only have so many gathers, so I can make those valleys and hills as deep as I need to get this to work, but I can only have so many hills. Otherwise, I'm having to take tinier stitches than I'm supposed to for the smocking. So that's what I've got to figure out, is how big my valleys and hills, height-wise, need to be. So that will be the math, because, this is much larger than I did before. Because I just went with, 1/4 inch. And it's like, nope, I'm going to need to make it quite a bit bigger than that. Whew. Okay, get the back cut. And things. Yeah, somebody did, there's all these ways to 3D print or other crazy things to the house. They're figuring out all that stuff. But yeah, someone did try, could we actually do life-size Legos, which is a really cool idea. Okay. Oh, man, I'd have so much fun with that. Because, when you think about it, it actually would really work on a lot of scales, because you'd have enough air space in between things for insulation purposes. It would help with that. You've got it would make sense. It'd be fairly sturdy. Work for insulation. You could, I'm sure, run electrical pretty easy, because you could probably put little holes in most of the pieces, in a repeated place, where you could just run electrical through any one of them, or plumbing or whatever. That'd be really fun. Could you imagine how much fun that would be to build your own house like that? I'm sure some people would not think it's fun, but people like me do this sort of thing for fun. Building an entire house out of Legos doesn't sound really that bad. Wee. Okay. Fun times, everybody. Okay, so this one is the appropriate size, so I don't have to adjust that. Just need to give myself the seam allowance that I know I need. There. That goes there. I might have to run downstairs and get some food. I thought I ate enough. My stomach was a little this morning. I didn't eat as much as I probably should have. Whatever. Figure it out. Yeah, building on an addition. You could just attach things in. Or if you plan on doing an addition later, you build in a way where you've got these little extension parts that come off of it, just waiting for when you have the money to do the full addition. It's just your house is just sitting there ready. And why are we not living in the future yet? The future that we were promised by the 1950s and 60s fun technology version, not the inevitable social future that they probably imagined, but the interesting future, the actual futuristic future. Why is the technology where like robots do all these magical things for us and everything's great. We've solved all of our world problems and we're building our houses out of Legos. I don't know. Like, it just, I want the house of the future. Frankly, the house of the future looked cooler. Yeah, where's my jetpack? Where's my teleport? Like, so, full admission, the next video that I've got coming out, which is January 1st, is entirely future fashion predictions, like, of the past. So looking from the 1880s onwards, through the 1970s. Basically, like, 100 years of future fashion predictions, which most of which have already, like, we've already passed that. A lot of them were predicting the year 2000, or some predicted actually, like, 1952 or whatever. So we actually get to look back and see. But, yeah, the amazing, like, fashion predictions that they were making and the way that they thought things would be. Like, they start off super practical about it. But by the time you get to, like, the 1930s, they start being much more technological about the future. And, like, everyone predicted we'd have individual flight. Like, we'd have wings built into our outfits or whatever. Like, I'm just, like, I'm missing so many fun things that they predicted. I'm a little disappointed that things are not, like, way cooler. They do hit some things pretty correct in terms of, like, the fact that a lot of them predicted that communication things, like our clothes would need to do a lot of stuff. They just didn't predict the fact that we would just be carrying these things around rather than, like, having them integrated into our clothing or whatever. Like, we've got Apple Watches or whatever, but that's a little different than having antenna hats or all the other fancy stuff that they were predicting. So yeah, if you want to see all of the futuristic fashions that we missed out on, it's a really fun video. I found some really fun pictures. And articles and fashion shows that they did and all sorts of things. So I'm excited. Oh yeah. Blue chalk really doesn't come off. Good luck, because the store stuff has wax in it. Even this stuff, which is a better quality, it still has wax in it. I hate it. So I only use it in places where I will never see the light of day. It doesn't wash off. It just kind of, like, brushes in, especially depending on what fabric you're doing. I honestly don't know how to get it off. I've tried so many different ways. If anybody else has found a successful way, great. I've tried, obviously, water and washing. I've tried, especially if you've ironed it, like, you've set that wax in. I don't know a way to get these things out. Like, there might be certain solvents that work. But I feel like at that point you're starting to move into, like, art restoration territory of, like, increasingly more aggressive solvents to find out what point is too much. Like, will alcohol work? Yeah. No, that's not off topic. That is a constant issue, which is one of the reasons why I generally don't recommend this stuff. And, like, whenever I'm like, get chalk for things, it's like, get the real stuff. I got this stuff and I hate it, which is why I still have it, because you can feel it. Like, you can feel the waxiness, which means that it won't just brush off easily. So I will always prefer to use, honestly, pencil erases more easily. But yeah. Okay, I need to check something really fast, make sure I'm not crazy. Not off on the time here. Yeah, at noon. Okay. Cool. Someone required to sign your package tomorrow. I don't know what we're getting that needs to be signed for tomorrow, but that sounds exciting. I'm sure it is probably not. And they almost never actually have me sign for anything when they tell me that. Like, sure. Wow. Stomach rumbles. Okay. So, what am I doing? I don't know. There's something important. Anyway, I think I've got my weird little angles cut out. Got all four pieces, which is super simple. And so what I can do, what I will need to do next, I'm going to be lazy and just serge the raw edges, and then I can stitch everything together, and then thinking what might be best, because I'm just leaving it straight on top right now. I'm not going to cut the top. But I think I might need to like get a proper pencil, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to do this in chalk, so I need to pause for a while and do that. But go get a pencil that's actually functional and sort of trace out where I think the neckline will extend to, and so that way I can run the gathers appropriately. So I just need to mark all of those, which is going to be a lengthy process that I might want to do before I assemble. Oof. This is going to be exciting, not exciting process. So I have a thing at noon, so I can't do much more with you guys. Sorry, it's a short day. Hopefully I will, with all of this boring stuff that I'm going to have to sit here doing, I will definitely be back over the next few days. I am going to do like a live on my YouTube on the 28th. I believe that's Wednesday. Because that was the day that seemed to be the most voted for. A lot of people said 28th or the 30th, and some people specified other, but I think it'll be Wednesday. Oh, neat! Yay! Shoemaking experiments. I'm glad. So I will definitely at least be doing that, but I think I'm going to have, because this is going to be a very usually the problem that I've got with live streaming is the fact that like I can't really film easily at the same time, but I totally can with this, because it's going to be like 5 hours of me just gathering things. So wee. So yeah, I will be back with a pencil that works. Maybe this afternoon, actually. Probably tomorrow, too. I don't think I have anything happening tomorrow. I think this is mainly the thing that I need to be working on tomorrow. So I'll be back repeatedly over the next few days. Even though this morning is a little bit shorter than usual. But oh, don't worry. We have a lot of people, especially when I do things in the morning, we have a lot of people in here who are not English first language. But I guarantee there's probably somebody else in here that speaks yours most of the time. Plastic house in the heat. Oof, yeah, that's not. It wouldn't do well in the cold either. Plastic is not really good with temperature, period. So you definitely would need a different thing. Yeah. Yeah, English is so wibbly wobbly. That's a good way of putting it. English is not supposed to make sense. It's fine. English is made up of all of the other languages that we have slowly taken over the years, between things, invasions, and stolen words, and period in English history where they were huge Francophiles and everything else. I always tell people, I'm like, I know it's really hard to learn English, but if people pay any attention to etymology, it's really easy for English to learn other languages. Because it's like, oh, okay, that's the same word that we use. Oh, okay. Over and over and over again. So that should be not there. So it's just going to be a gradual, not too much of a slope. Yeah, English isn't supposed to make sense. It's true. I mean, like, most of our words for food, it's just, you can tell what time period we started using that word for food, because it's so consistent as to who was either in charge or what was fashionable at the time. Like, it's the reason why we have different words for our animals versus our meat, which is really a nonsense concept, unless you're talking about a specific region of the animal. Like, why we say, pork versus pig, or beef versus cow. It's just because, the 19th century is like, the French are so cool, we're gonna start saying boeuf and book and poulet, poultry. All of these things, you're like, but just for some of them, not for all of them, just for the cool ones. I don't know. It's just really weird. Like, don't try to make sense of any of it. That's the key point of English. Don't try to make sense of it. It's all nonsense. But chicken, we did say the same. But again, poultry carried over. So in reality, like, it's not even exactly. It's just, like, some of the things. And that's really just because chicken was not, and it's more a matter of, like, what meats were considered highbrow versus, like, everyday. Chicken was not highbrow in that era. So they didn't pick up that term in the same way, but certain types of poultry were. So then they did pick up that word in that way. It's just like, what is this nonsense? Yeah, poultry, I think, at farm management. Yeah, I mean, but it's poulet. It's all related. The only thing we really didn't pick up were the gender differentiation. We lost that at some point, the gender differentiation between terms, and I'm like, that's the one thing that I hate the most. Those two other languages, I'm like, I have to learn whether things are masculine or feminine, but there's no, like, sensible, it's just what somebody just felt like this was more. That's where the nonsense is. That's the only thing. That was the only thing that kept me from learning, I think, French faster. Was just, you need me to decide whether it's masculine or feminine? Yeah, whatever. Smorgasbord. I think we all love using smorgasbord too, just not only because it's a really useful word, but also because slight Swedish chef vibes to it, which is just fun. Omelette du fromage. Du fromage. But yeah, smorgasbord is just like a range of different things. Like food. It's usually in reference to food. Like, you just have a whole bunch of stuff. Not unlike charcuterie, which I know is more popular now, but I feel like it's less organized or less specific. Like, charcuterie to me means you have, like, breads, cheese, meat, and maybe some dips or things. Smorgasbord is just like, we put a lot of stuff on the table. Go for it. Smorgasbord. Just kind of like the generic concept of food stuff. If anything, it's kind of how we look at that. So, yeah. At least, like, that is one of the benefits of English, is that we do just tend to co-opt any language has a better word for something, we eventually pick it up. There's just not always, it doesn't happen right away, but, like a buffet. Yeah, like a buffet. I just, like, to me, at least, smorgasbord just kind of implies, like, I pulled a whole bunch of stuff out of the fridge, and this is what I've got, and this is what we're eating today. Yeah, and I mean, then there's, like, German, where it's like, I don't know, but it's kind of like a combination of these four things. Make that a word. Like, wait. Okay. So, alright, I need to go get a better pencil, and I need to go grab some food really quickly before I have this meeting. So, thanks for hanging out for the brief couple hours, not even, that I was here. Yeesh. I might be back this afternoon, just because I will just be marking out where to do gathers, and that's really boring. So, I will probably be back this afternoon, and again tomorrow morning, and who knows when. So, yeah, smorgasbord, at least. I feel like it's just, yeah. There's a whole bunch of other ones. So I will see you guys shortly, or tomorrow, or in the very near future, or whatever. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you soon.